Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and today I'm going to get my planner all set up for the month of September. So this is my planner in August. I am wanting to change out and use this planner cover from Miss Maker for the month of September, but I also want to use these discs, and I don't have these discs on any other planner, so it's going to be a little tricky as I switch out everything. And then of course, I do a Franken planning system, which is really that fact that I combine different planners together. So I'm going to be like mixing and matching some pieces from these planners. So I'm going to get everything organized, get everything in place, and then I'm planning on setting up my September monthly, depending on how the time goes. So I will put you guys on fast forward and we will get this planner put together. Let's go. All right, so we are going with the Miss Maker theme for a couple reasons. First of all, I think this is a really pretty cover that kind of transitions to fall. I was very tempted to go all out, go with a fall cover, go with a fall spread for September, but I'm going to wait until October. I'm sure some fall spreads will creep in September, but we're going to wait to go all out fall for a little bit later. Also, I chose Miss Maker because I'm hoping that this is the month that my craft room starts to come together in the basement. So I'm starting to purchase some of the pieces that have to be put together, and we're going to start making plans because my kiddos are headed back to school. So I'm thinking that this is going to be the month, at least to start it. I'm sure it's going to take a bit of time to put the room together, but I'm getting really excited. So we're going to go with Miss Maker because we're all about crafting this month. I love that when you're changing out your discs, your cover, all of that, while does take a little bit of time, not too much time. This probably took maybe 15 minutes total to change everything out. It gives you a chance to reevaluate what is in your planner. Are you using it? So for instance, I have a ton of new note pages from spending the month doing all of these awesome printables with my Patreon group and trying out some different things. So I have a ton of those pages. I'm considering which ones I want to keep, which ones I can put to the side. It gives you a chance to just look through your planner. And I think a lot of times our planners can start to get, for lack of a better term, just junked up with a lot of stuff. And so it's good to go through and clean them out every now and then. Oops, had those pages upside down. And I've also, throughout the year, while I've been doing this, I've taken some sections out. I used to have a whole wellness section in here. I've had just some different sections, a recipe planner section that was a little bit more in depth, and I found I wasn't using them. And so it was nice to just take them out instead of like being faced with whole sections that I wasn't looking at ever. I used to feel like guilty that I wasn't addressing those sections or not like looking at them on a regular basis. So being able to take them out and just have in my planner what I'm actually using at the time, that is what I really like. So we're adding in the listing section, then we're going to add in the lettering section, and that's all of the main parts of my planner. I always trim off my lettering one. It all fits in, and then I just need to add some dashboards. We went with the Miss Maker dashboards. These help me flip to a particular week. Now, I do still have August pieces in this planner because I get my planner set up before the actual month of September. So when the month flips over, then I'll just take out the August pieces and redistribute those to the planner that they belong in. So that's how I get my planner set up. One last thing, adding in a new pocket in the back. And now we're ready to get going and to plan for the month of September. Let's give this a try. All right, so I'm using Miss Maker, which is a little tricky because I'm going to use the big Miss Maker because there's a ton of great big pieces in there, but there's not really any monthly boxes in the Miss Maker book. There's not any really small boxes at all. I would say this one is definitely geared towards a more decorative book and or a vertical spread because there's just not a lot of small boxes. So I have a little bit of trouble figuring out how I'm going to label things. But I do figure it out eventually. It all works out. Now, I don't have trouble covering up numbers in my monthly layout because, I'm going to be able to figure out the date, the number. It's, numerical order. It's not super hard. So I don't mind if it kind of goes over the edge. And if I need to write something in these places, I just add a little box so I can write it in. But I love make all the things. We're going to do just some big icons down the sides of the page just to set the tone. That's going to be where most of the decorative elements are. Like I said, my kids are going back to school. We have all the things going on. I'm not even going to be able to put stickers down for most of the things just because there's so many different practices and after school commitments and things like that. So I will be adding stickers for some elements, but really I try to leave my monthly spread pretty open during the year just because I know there's a lot that I have to fill in, and I will just write that in by hand. I'll probably do some color coding with pens just to make it a little bit easier for my eye to see what's going on in a particular week. But that's how I'm going to do it. So most of my decorations are going to be to the side. So we have the big letterboard, the DIY all day, and then some yarn and some Happy Planner discs. So some of my very favorite things on my spread. And like I said, I'll just be able to add those on the edges, and then we'll bring in some other simpler elements to the middle of the spread. I know some people find it challenging to use these larger stickers in the big sticker books, but I'm a huge fan of them because I like to have them running off the page. I think it is very pleasing to the eye to see an image that's kind of running off the side of the page because you kind of imagine that it keeps going. I guess it tricks your eye in a way. So that's one of my tricks for using these large stickers. Don't be afraid to have them either overlap a couple of pages or just run off the page. If there's letters or words, you just want to make sure you're not cutting the words, which is why I had to make sure that make all the things made it completely onto that left side. But just something to consider. There's lots of ways to use these. You can cut them and make them work for you. There were these project boxes in the Miss Maker kit that were like top 3 or things to craft or something like that. And I was like, oh, I can just take these, I can cover them up. But it didn't look right. And I didn't like the bullet points on that. And I pull out one more to give it a try. And then I'm like, nope, I don't like that. You can see, I'm like, okay, let me put this down, see what it looks like. Make all the things. Nope, don't like it. Gonna pull this one up. We're gonna go super simple. So there are these super cute check marks. I will use the check marks for soccer games. We don't have the whole schedule for all the kids yet. So we have soccer and baseball and gymnastics going on. So far, all we have are soccer games and practices and gymnastics practices, and we don't have our baseball schedule yet. So it's going to be a very full month. My weekends will definitely be spent on sports fields, but I absolutely love that. So I'm going to use these check marks for soccer games, and I'm looking to see what else I can add, how I can start to notate some of the other pieces. And I think what I'm going to end up doing is looking for that's for an orthodontist appointment. I'm going to end up going with some rainbow boxes just because there's not a lot of super functional boxes in this Miss Maker set. So I do find this kind of stitch washi. My parents are visiting this month, so I'll use that to mark off the days. I love using washi to mark off like longer segments of time on my monthly spread. So that'll mark off where my parents are going to be. And then, like I said, we're going to have to go for a different sticker book so that I can start to mark some of the more functional pieces. Let's add a little bit of interest with some quotes. We'll do this pink one up here just because there's some space, and then I will add one on the bottom. The one at the top says, "Any day spent crafting is a good day," which is very true. And then on the bottom, it says, "Do something creative every day." And this is just the month where I'm hoping we get back to kind of a normal routine. It was a great summer, but it was really hard to work during the summer and do all the filming and all the things that I do for my channel and for Patreon. And so I'm looking forward to having some quiet in the house every day to kind of get things done. All right, so I pulled out the Rainbow Boxes Mega Book. Rainbow Boxes Mega Book? Yes, that's what it's called. And I'm using it to find some of that like light teal that matches the letterboard. I'm going to end up rearranging. I don't have all of one color to fill in all of the gymnastics practices, so I rearrange colors a few different times. That's why I don't really stick the stickers down really hard when I'm first picking stickers. So it's pretty easy these come up pretty easily. So this probably would have been helpful if I had planned it on one of the sticker guides in advance, but I did not. So we're just kind of winging it. I'll rearrange it just because I want there to be sort of a pattern and a symmetry. And I could have just put different color boxes other places, but I needed it to make sense in my head. So we will move this box, that'll move over here. So that whole week will be that color. Then we'll move this box, that'll come down here. We'll have to change up some of the colors that go other places. And really the rest of this is me working on the function. I'm a big believer that your planner has got to be functional, and whether you have a busy schedule or not, you have things to write down in your monthly planner. You know, you might not have 3 kids that are doing all the sports, but you have appointments, you have volunteer commitments, you have things you just want to do on those days, maybe goals for the day, maybe you write a memory. So I try to keep my spread really functional because I'm going to use it in that particular way. All right, so I'll get these down. Like I said, I'm not going to add all of the things for all of the sports, like boxes for every single practice. I just wanted to highlight a few, and then the rest will end up being handwritten in just writing in some different colored pieces. And that's going to be pretty much it for this monthly spread. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider hitting that subscribe button as well as the bell notification button. Let me know in the comments below, are you super decorative in your monthly spread, or are you super functional? Like, which one do you go for? How do you include decorative elements in your monthly spread? I like to go down the sides. That's how I get them in, or down the middle is another way I like to do it. I will link the supplies that I used down below. Those are affiliate links, just a heads up. It does help me out a lot when you shop those. It doesn't cost you any extra, but it really helps me support this channel. And speaking of supporting this channel, thank you so much to all my Patreon members that are supporting me over there, receiving all of the extra content and tips and tricks and all the fun things that are happening over on Patreon. If you want to find out more about Patreon and how you can take advantage of those perks, then just check the link in the description. All right, I hope that you have a fabulous day, and as always, keep it creative.